all the show.
Now we head into the map picks. The A-Team do pick the map, and they take SPT to Volskaya. This is the map that in the past, last season especially, SPT had the biggest trouble on. So nice to see the A-Team dragging them there.
All right. I'm just happy we get to cast some of the maps that we haven't really seen all too much, especially Praxis, then followed by the Volskaya Foundry. Now, this is a map that SPT played their Bloodlust comp quite successfully on. It just didn't work out last time, I believe, against the one. Did they play on Volskaya? I think they did. We saw... it was Towers of Doom, my mistake.
Yes, you are correct, because remembering is hard. There's a lot of games.
We've casted a lot of games together over the last few days in China.
Have. Over the last few years, dude. We've casted so many games together. Man, how the time flies when you're having a wonderful time and have someone lovely to spend it with. As we have SPT with the first ban, moving on while the Kappa Prides fill the chat. we have the Genji being the first ban by SPT.
Yep, Genji makes sense. I mean, this year, it's everything has been said and done about this guy at this point, right? So he's deadly, he's hard to deal with, he's hypermobile, and someone is throwing it something in the back. I think it was Taiga.
Lovely.
All right. I guess if you're almost done with your time as an analyst, then you might as well just blow off a little bit of steam there. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing.
There goes the Urel as first pick. Soap looking for a bit of redemption.
Yeah, Urel once again. It is such a strong hero, don't get me wrong, but Soap had a couple of misplays there, so maybe if he just calms down a little bit, if he works on his aggression, then he should be fine, both in-game and outside of the game, by the way, because he's a very vocal player. Not sure if you saw any of the SPT oracles back at the Eastern Clash, I believe.
I did, and I've also heard them at last year's mid-season brawl, where they were very loud.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what they do. Dagger Kane, Zero Tool. Actually, first Zero Tool of the day, if I recall correctly. Is it going to be a VP Zero Tool, the standard route, or is it going to be more of a Lokta approach with Might of the Netrazim?
Maybe. Don't know. Like, I wouldn't mind. The Junkrat play from last game was pretty good. Wouldn't mind seeing them just stealing the RPG style and trying that.
Yeah, Void Prism into the Riptire. Very lethal, very scary.
God, that skin sounds creepy in Chinese. It sounds creepy anyway, but that's super cool. So we see the Malfurion and the Diablo, so good CC and a good follow-up for the CC.
That is correct. That is really good follow-up with the roots. The Irel slows there as well. Diablo, man, that was a scary quote indeed. At some point, I actually want to experience the Chinese client. Pretty sure you can change in-game language to Chinese without changing the overlays and tooltips, right?
Maybe? Possibly? That's an interesting question.
I know you can do it in Overwatch. In Overwatch, you are pretty free to do whatever you want to with the voiceovers and stuff. I used to play most of my Overwatch in Japanese, by the way.
That's cool. I mean, you can change the language and stuff, but I don't know if Chinese is one of the options because China has a different client set to us, different launcher.
Korean is definitely possible. I've seen people do that.
Indeedy. As we have the Chromie being banned out.
Yeah, Sergeant Hammer ban as well. Looks like SPT really doesn't want to play against that. I mean, they had to learn the hard way of what a Sergeant Hammer can do when they faced the one earlier. And they looked rather clueless as to what they really wanted to do against it. So I'm fine with that. Up to this point, could it still be a Bloodlust comp? Let's see. Rygar... No, it can't be because of Urel. They had swapped out the Urel and the Malfurion, of course. Then maybe. Maybe so. So a standard game.
Very standard game so far in terms of drafting. And nothing changes here. Phoenix and Thrall. Very standard lineup in general. Good combo together. I like it.
So SPT, they still need more dots. They still need more damage. Speaking of more dots, Gul'dan is just not receiving any love. In China, at least, we should say. We should specify. Not even on Praxis holdout, to be honest. I think Gul'dan would have been an amazing bottom laner with decent wave clear, strong self-sustain.
So... SPT, they have no range right now. Hanzo's still on the board. What map are we on again? I've blanked a bit.
We are playing on Volskaya.
Volskaya, so more area control. So Hanzo's fine. There's enough little walls here that he has decent defenses. And Scatter Arrow's not too hard to do some stuff.
The first team to pick Nazebo, by the way, on this map, I'm going to splurge on with my bits. Tracer Tassadar. Double support Tracer as the only DPS. I don't like it. It could work simply because SPT has the better player material. But we've seen those double support compositions getting schooled in the past in China quite a bit. Even in China, the motherland of double support. Varian? First Varian in China.
Well,
He's great against Tassadar Tracer.
I guess, but he's just not that tanky, is the issue I have.
Yeah.
No, stick with Muradin. Stick with Muradin.
Yeah, going for the more standard route. I guess Muradin's fine. He's going to be nigh unkillable here, I feel, because, quite honestly, SPT doesn't have any damage except Tracer. Let's see if they can do it. I think SPT... I don't want to hate too much on this double support, to be honest. On Volskaya, where there's a lot of space for Tracer to maneuver, in those longer drawn-out fights, they might even be able to out-sustain them, thanks to the double support. But I think there is very little weakness in the overall composition of the A-Team, don't you think?
Overall, yeah, it's it's safe, but it works in terms of lineup. They have a lot of general sustain. They're very hard to blow up, but if there is someone vulnerable, Tracer's going to find them.
So the immovable object, as I want to call the composition here that SPT chose, with double support and Tracer and Diablo and everybody being so hard to kill, same goes for Irel, of course, against just the overall standard China goodness that A-Team brought here to the table. They know what works.
China goodness is a wonderful sentence.
China goodness. There we go.
China goodness. All right. Overall, I've got to lean towards SPT because it's the Tracer Task combo, and even if it's not as effective as it used to be, I've got to lean towards it just because it's SPT. And this is the combo that when they used to run it, it was literally unbeatable.
All right, here we go. One last time, ladies and gentlemen, for this day and also this week. We're going to check out what HGC China has to offer with SPT on the left-hand side, represented by Lucky, Melody C, Misaka Soap, and ZZH. And they have a very interesting double support Tracer old-school China composition.
And on the right, it is the A-Team with Jaina on Thrall, Lele on Phoenix, Bruiser on Zeratul, Stukov on Deckard Cain, and Kaitu on Muradin, replacing Uncle G, who is banned from play for the rest of the year. It's a Crash Lightning Thrall, by the way, so very consistent theme every time we come to this map.
I don't hate it. I mean, I'm a defender of Crash Lightning. Not everybody agrees with me on that, but on certain conditions and certain maps, it can still be very, very powerful. And Volskaya Foundry is definitely one of those, right? If you don't send Thrall into a solo lane, if you let him brawl, if you let him skirmish early on, you can actually generate a lot of mid-game, late-game damage. And that is going to be very, very useful, obviously. So it's a 5 versus 4 brawl here. Kaitu getting chunked on. And Zeratul didn't even bother participating in that fight. Instead, he was busy shoving the top lane, and already I think that is one minion wave, or at least half a minion wave, that SPT is going to miss on.
All but like 3 minions died to the towers there. Good job, Zeratul, making the most of that cleave build, which he is going for. No Might of the Nerazim this time. Stukov clearing out some of the minions. Nice and quick.
Yeah, that he does. So the actually using the Tracer ult on the turret camp here. I mean, why not? You know, he's gonna have it back when it really matters. So I guess it speeds up the process just a little bit.
As we see Kaito coming in to say hello, not even for the steal, just to say hello. As Misaka looks to punish him, but it's Kaito. He should be able to escape. Oh, actually, maybe not. Taz with the rotation in. Tracer, body blocks. Very slow body blocks, but that's enough. Pulse bomb back off cooldown. He picks up the kill.
I like it. All right, Muradin basically getting schooled here a little bit. Learns his lesson, hopefully. In the meantime, speaking of getting a little bit bullied around, Olele doesn't have a chance in raw melee combat against Soap, but this is where he excels, right? Kiting, using his superior range, waiting for the shields to come back online, and then it should actually be a rather balanced matchup here between the Phoenix and the Irel.
Indeed. So I have a quick question to you before everything picks up again. What is a Nethrozeme?
A Nethrozeme is a Dreadlord.
Yeah, you keep saying it instead of Nerazime, and I was confused.
I think I said Nethrozeme this time. I keep messing up.
I think you did.
My mind is all over Dreadlords. I want them in Heroes of the Storm. Balnazar,
so it's
Mal'Ganis.
a type of Dreadlord, or it is a Dreadlord, or how does this work?
Say again?
It's a type of Dreadlord, or it is a single Dreadlord?
No, a Dreadlord can be a Nethrozeme, but not every Nethrozeme needs to be a Dreadlord. But if it's a Dreadlord, it's a Nethrozeme.
So it's like every cuboid is every box is a cuboid, but not every cuboid is. Wait, no, that's wrong. I can't remember. Wait. I don't know.
So basically, they are a special, like they're a race, an ancient race.
Okay.
And they were basically subdued by the Legion, and serve as special undercover agents to infiltrate the Legion's enemies.
Okay. So what's the difference between them and like a non-Nethrozeme Dreadlord?
There are none. That's what I'm saying. You can only be a Dreadlord if you're a Nethrozeme.
Oh, I see. Okay, so Nethrozeme is a type of species, and there can be, and some of them are Dreadlords.
Yes, very well learned.
Okay, worked it out, did it. As we see the Crash Lightning, it currently only had one stack when we saw it on the tab a little bit earlier. That will build up over time, and we have the stacking wolf as well.
Alrighty then, here we go. None of the teams is actually willing to let go. The platform is still at 0%, but Olele, man, he is probably going to be a little too late to the party, because SPT, they're about to turn on the heat. They catch all of the roots. Self-sustain is real, though. Jaina also chugs all those potions. Is it going to be enough, though? Tracer takes him out.
And rip the wolf stacks. They get removed as level 7 is hit for the A-Team. SPT already had it. Olele, he realizes his team's in trouble, just decides, I'm going to live up in top lane and just stay here. Pushes up a little bit more, but SPT's lucky, rotates up there and is going to clean that up and grab the XP from it.
There we go, and already yet another turret going to be captured by SPT. So just in case the A-Team was actually going to regroup and rally again, they would have to face yet another one of those beasts here. And what makes these turrets so dangerous, not necessarily damage, by the way, but first of all, it offers a little bit of body blocking. It's going to be a little harder for heroes to pass by. And most importantly, it's the duration, right? It keeps standing there for such a long time. And over the course of time, of course, beautiful save there, the bodyguard. Diablo keeping Melody C alive for now.
So, tanking the front line, uses the jump to get out. He hasn't dropped his turret yet. It's 99%. This is contested.
Yeah.
So, backs up. Gonna just let him take a little...
SPT has a lot of time. They could even consider going for the health mercenaries for the healing pulse if they wanted to, because they... nope, looks like they want to brawl right back into the action they go.
Nope. The Rebel gets caught out the air by a dog. As we see the anti-healing being dropped with that emerald from Deckard Cain. Tanking through it. Stukov throwing in all those healing potions now with the shield on them as well. Turret is dropped. Muradin in serious trouble and gets detonated. Thor, on the other hand, though, completes his wolf.
So how do you make sure that when Tracer is your only assassin that you're actually going to be able to kill people? Well, you do it with superior crowd control, so the enemy team can run away from you, and that's exactly what SPT has been doing splendidly here. They keep slowing, rooting, and stunning people all the time, so Tracer will basically be left unattended. She's always going to be able to attack and deliver that damage, and A-Team already in a lot of trouble. The Protector is now marching towards that middle fort. I don't think there's anything the A-Team can do to stop that from happening.
think so either. The Force taking a lot of damage. I mean, turns out the thing they can do to stop it from happening is just absolutely wreck the Protector as they burn through a lot of its health, down to 35%. But turns out the Protector was a bait the entire time as Thrall gets detonated by Melody C.
Melody C there sneakily actually activating her ult, or his ult, onto Thrall when the Protector was about to jump in as well. So perfect synchrony, timing their abilities really, really well. Now they might even try to get another tower yet. The rooting hand actually disables buildings for a short period of time. They go back in with a jump. Nicely done here. Nice kiting, and yet expand the experience lead. Now, level 10 is here though. Void Prison online. Earthquake on top of it as well. So if everything goes well, it's going to be a VP followed by the Earthquake and the Purification Salvo.
Sacred Ground coming in for Urel. I guess this is the one map I think it makes sense on. Mafurian, which should really pick Tranquility if that is the case. Though, I mean, Twilight Dream could be devastating for Zeratul, but that healing on top of that armor could be monstrous.
Yeah.
There it is.
I'm glad they picked it as well. Urel going for the Sacred Ground this time around. I think Soap things like he believes probably that, you know, in those static objective fights around the Protector, it's a little more value than just absorbing and healing for a bunch of burst damage that you absorb. So let's see. Oh no, Bruiser. Sorry, it was Zeratul this time. Once again in trouble. Blinks to safety though, just like Muradin. Jumps over the wall. And you can really see how the lack of damage for SPT doesn't really seem to be a problem, right? As long as you don't die, as long as you keep everybody alive, you can eventually overpower and out-sustain your opponents. And A-Team, they look a little clueless as to what to do right now, who to focus, which ability to use at which time. Let's see if they can find an opening throughout the game at some point.
Early C moving in, but already begins burning down the turrets as Bruiser. Stealth Soak. Hands there, make sure he gets the XP without showing. Revealing himself on the map, finally does. Make sure the lanes are cleared and protect the tower at least.
Okay, Tassadar already completed his Storm quest here, which is pretty insane after 8 minutes already, but really shows the good rotations by Lucky, right? He was always able to land his Scythe Storm on as many enemy targets as possible, of course including heroes, mercenaries, minions, and so on and so forth. And let's actually take a look at the item count here. We see 1 turret on ZZH, 1 healing pulse on Misaka. And I'm not sure about Lucky if he's carrying anything, but I don't think he did.
Don't think so either. We see Stukov, by the way. He's got a turret of his own as well. So there's a little bit of counter there. So dodges the Storm Bolt, at least for the moment. And yeah, Lucky does not have anything at the time. Also, he's running the Mech Tassadar skin without using the hero-specific mount. Does he not like being a plague?
Sacrilege.
Stormbolt landed, immediate cleanse.
Yeah, it's like going for the Mecha Turtle and not using the flying device that he has, whatever it's called.
I do not remember what it's called, but it does look cool.
Okay, Misaka actually doesn't even care about the Muradin that he just saw, who's literally right next to him. All he had was eyes on Thrall and Decker Kane, but the A-Team refuses to get caught up to this point. They're not 13 themselves. Ancient Blessings for the Decker Kane could be a nice damage amplifier, especially for Zeratul and Thrall and Phoenix. Let's see what they can do. Already the channel goes live for SPT. They do have the item advantage, as we pointed out to earlier. Diablo tanking a little bit. Melody C is currently busy fighting off Bruiser on the Zeratul.
Zeratul is being chased away. Melody C going super deep. Oh, that's a cool pause. As the root comes down on top of it, it doesn't get too much though. Yeah. So able to pull back. No Sacred Ground yet. Now pops it as he begins to turn around. Decides to use it just as an escape tool.
Yeah, a lot of heroic abilities were popped here on the side of A-Team, but no real damage has been caused, right? SPT was able to walk away pretty much untouched almost, and now without this Earthquake, there's no more Purification Salvo synergy available. I mean, there is, but not a guaranteed one. Yeah. The VP is also not going to be able to make any plays happen. This is not looking good for the A-Team. I think they're going to give up the Protector altogether.
They're certainly pulling back. Which certainly leads towards that that option that you just said in terms of abandoning. They're going to grab a Mercenary Camp, which will be wiped pretty quickly. I'm not entirely sure the value of grabbing that at this point.
Yeah, it's going to inflict a little bit of damage onto the Protector. It's going to keep the minions at bay a little bit more, but as you said, it's not going to make a major difference. Misaka doesn't even care about those puny enemies. He's tanking through all of it, becomes unstoppable, doesn't fall asleep, and Stukov on the Decker Kane is in a lot of trouble.
Now Kaito on the Muradin being chased down. He's able to back up, as it's only going to end up being one kill, and that did delay the Protector due to the fact that Diablo came off the point to go hard onto that Decker Kane.
Soap, in the meantime, hammering away the pursuing enemies. Here he drops the Sacred Ground. He wants to survive until reinforcements have arrived. The Healing Pulse also being used right now. Salvo, not dealing a whole lot of damage. Muradin, Jaina on the Thrall, also in trouble.
And down goes Thrall, and I really think they should have just been more patient with that Salvo, because that's now on a 60-second cooldown, and Earthquake's just about to come off cooldown.
Exactly. I think cooldown management is definitely not the strength of the A-Team here. So it could be an issue of communication. Could be them getting a little frantic and panicky when they see SPT come towards them. So, Malfurion once again inside with the Diablo. They deactivate this forward. Almost a 100% Protector marching towards the top lane and getting dangerously close to the keep.
Yeah, Tracer adds a lot of protection. Tastar adds a lot of protection for Tracer, so it's not so bad that it's not that it is Malfurion inside the Protector. That just needs to stay nearby, keep Melody healed if he takes any damage. You can see he's not shielding preemptively though, saving his mana, only shielding when damage is taken to get value out of the leeching rounds. The keep being a troll and only attacking Melody C here. Yeah. So trying to go in. Finally some minions arrive to assist.
And what a valuable assist that is. Look at that Protector, is still mighty healthy. They're not brave enough to go for the keep, for the core just yet.
Left.
Yeah, it's almost about to expire. You're totally right. 5 seconds there. So, you know, smart rotations. I think Malfurion should already get out. All right, never mind. They wait until it crumbles down anyways. They could go for another healing camp. 16 advantage is in their favor. And I think they pretty much had vision on the A-Team right now and saw how they were rotating down towards the bottom half of the map.
You see the rest of the A-Team, they're grabbing their own turret here. They might try and make an aggressive play as they have 16 and they're on even talents for once. As SPT move on to their own mercenary camp, not going for the turret. So let's see if the A-Team decide to make any kind of aggressive play. Kaitu's going to scout and see that no one's doing it. Jaina's here as well. Misaka moves down.
Yeah.
This may end up being a fight. No, it looks like the A-Team want to play passively.
Man, with Tassadar now having access to Double Storms and the Oracle, it's going to be so hard to really find a sneaky surprise angle to find a gank going, right? Even if he doesn't have the Oracle, those Storms are going to provide so much zoning and so much vision onto where the enemy team could come from. Kaitu, careful with those conveyor belts.
Gets hit by Diablo, but he's able to back up. It's not so bad. Pulls back a bit.
Yeah, and with that opening in the top lane, I really like the rotation now from SPT, right? They realize, you know what? They're going to have to send at least 1-2 people even maybe to deal with those catapults. What do we do here? We bring maximum distance in between ourselves and the enemy team, and we're going to try to get maybe something done on the fort here. Actually, Kaito, is he safe from the wrath of SPT? Takes a lot of damage. The Tracer ulti goes down as well, while Misaka on the Diablo is tanking through it all.
Kaiju waiting for his healing to activate here. He did survive thanks to that avatar, but yet another fort going down. That's SPT even closer to level 20, and they're looking for the kill onto Kaito. And they don't get it. Stay a while and listen for the save. Oh, they got it. Lucky from behind. Now he's moving forward with the Archon here, doing huge damage. Bruiser gets taken down as well.
Oh boy.
And that is a 3-for-0. Level 20 just around the corner. They'll probably get it from these towers.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get enough experience from those minions, the towers, you mentioned it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was just a brutal display of sheer might and force of SPT. You could actually see how tanky Misaka becomes at this point, right? With the double protection, the shields if needed be, the lifesteal as well. Tracers absolutely untouchable simply because Soap and Misaka buy so much space. And
they just
I think they're just going to end. Masterclass play by Diablo. That's how you do a combo with that Hellgate at level 20. Yeah, next Protector is going to be pretty much the nail in the coffin anyway. So, A-Team with 35 seconds on to Phoenix, who unfortunately died at the worst moment in time. They're going to have to go for a Hail Mary. If they don't fight outside of their base again, they're going to lose anyways.
Yeah, if a Protector is grabbed by SPT, the game ends. SPT should really actually try to make a fight happen, even though the A-Team need it to happen. Actually, no, the A-Team should just use the threat of their level 20 to try and dissuade the A-Team, and the A-Team need to make that active decision on their own. You can see Sacred Ground already dropped on the point because Urel is so confident that she's going to have to fight here.
It is indefinite, right? So you're not losing anything, and if you get the full channel duration here, guess what? Low cooldown is going to be ready again. She did take Seraphim at level 20, by the way, so she can activate that to become unstoppable. It's going to be very useful against Muradin, Thrall, for example, as well. The Decker Cane Sleep can be entirely dodged with one level 20 talent, which is amazing.
You see, dodges the Stormbolt, in it comes, and Phoenix is gone. Urel cancels the Sacred Ground to come out and help here, but it's still going to be an absolute massacre. Sacred Ground absolutely not required as Stukov goes down. Actually, it's already off cooldown due to how early she activated it, as Bruiser gets taken out too. Jaina desperately trying to survive with the Frostwolf Resilience. It's not enough, and Kaitu, the last surviving member, is probably going to be the one who has to tell how their core fell this day, unless he gets killed off here. Hellgate is used, but they're not able to kill him off.
All right, SPT dominating Volskaya Foundry. The Infinite Archon is still going live here by Lucky. He was always able to attack at least a little something in between, and with, you know, pretty solid gameplay, much more solid gameplay than on map 1, they take out the A-Team 2-0 and at least keep that distance between themselves and the 1 at 3 points.
Nicely done by Super Perfect.